So welcome to this video guys, and today we'll be installing Windows 8.0. And yes, you heard me right, not Windows 8.1, the one that you're really familiar with. Windows 8.0, the operating system, at least that's how I call it, the Microsoft borrowed. And today I'll actually be explaining why Microsoft borrowed Windows 8 in the first place and what we're going to see now. So while this is installing, I just want to talk about what Windows 8 originally was and why it was borrowed. So the reason why Windows 8 was borrowed was because it had a lot of issues, but I won't spoil many of the surprises now because you will see it in the later points of the video. And what I wanted to speak about mainly was that Windows 8.0 was very strange in the way and very weird with the button schemes and all the weird things were in Windows 8.0, and it was sort of tablet-ish in a way. And it also first introduced the Windows Store, or at least now the Microsoft Store, but back then you would have just called it Store. And of course it also introduced the APPX files and all the other store Microsoft Store stuff. So now we're just going to have to speak about something else that we'll see once this finishes installing. By the way, from the setup, you might have noticed that we are already using a Windows 7 mouse, not your normal typical Windows 10 mouse, which doesn't have the effect of having a shadow on the pointer. And yes, this is the Windows 7 mouse, and as you might have noticed, we have the effects on the setup, and the setup looks much more different than your normal setup. That is because with every version of Windows, and especially the Windows 8 versions, they stopped using a colorful background like on Windows 7. At least Windows 7 had a nicer setup. It was quite nice. But now that we have finished installing, we should be done soon, and we'll be able to see what is hidden under these strange doors of hidden OSs. And you might have not seen many other YouTubers covering this, so I really do not know why it has been skipped over, but I thought, why not cover this, because it is an interesting thing. Windows 8.1 is the familiar Windows 8, but not Windows 8.0, which was very bad, and this is one of the reasons that they cancelled it. It was so bad they had to cancel it. And we'll actually see what happens when we log in and boot up and try and see some other stuff in the operating system. So on first startup, we'll just see this. I might as well just skip this because you'll be sitting here for a long time waiting for this to start it up, or we can talk about Windows 8. So Windows 8 is borrowed in Windows 8.1. So Windows 8.1 actually beat Windows 8.0 because of what you're about to see now. It is very hidden in the way Windows 8 works. It has hidden things on it, and it's not immediately obvious what to do when you launch up your desktop. I mean, sure, you get this lovely background of a flower, But on the main operating system, if you try and, well, do stuff on it, it is just bad. Or at least, like, say if you want to change your wallpaper. Oh, and by the way, in this Windows version, they still kept the control panel. So, yeah. Now we restart, and we seem to be starting up again. And this time, I hope we do not shut down. Okay, and let's start. So, we're just going to type in net PC for the Windows name, and we'll pick any color actually. In fact, this is more like a Windows 8 setup, but I quite like I'll fine, I'm going with this color. Then just use Express settings and sign in without a Microsoft account, then local account. Then I'll just type in my username and finish. So now we will start. And by the way, this process is very quick. Not like in Windows 10, the long, boring waiting process. And now, after your PC is ready, move your mouse into any corner. By the way, here I actually thought you were supposed to move your mouse into any corner. So I tried to do that, but it wouldn't work. And now, since I have this mouse cursor and not the virtual machine mouse, it is a little weird. But soon enough, there we go. That was very quick. And we are in. So, let's see. As you can see, let's go to the desktop. Okay, then let's go back to the sub menu. You see, it's not immediately obvious where to find things. Also, let's try the corner feature. Sure, there you can find the start button, but there's no start button in here, so it's not immediately obvious where you have to find the start button. And some of these components actually look like Windows 7. So like the clock. It looks like Windows 7 sound clock. And now we're going to go in the start menu with the incredibly hard to find button. So now you might be asking, okay, if this is Windows 8, where's the button for the apps? And I actually took a lot of time to find it. On Windows 8, there will be a little arrow with a circle, which would just like you click it and it would just go down to the apps. But here, you're going to have some difficulties doing this. So if I right click, I have to right click, I have to click on all apps. And from there, I can look at all my apps. And if I want to launch the settings app, you might be asking also, where is the settings app? So it turns out you actually have to use the corners again to go into settings. And even this settings isn't the one that you want. So you have to go into another menu called change PC settings. And here you'll be able to do whatever you need to do. So this seems like it's the Windows 8 default wallpapers, and I don't know, it doesn't work as it worked in the setup, but it doesn't work here. Anyway, we'll have to figure it out next time. So as you can see, we have these like personalizations, and for browser this is weird. Why would it? Okay, actually, to exit Windows, this is even worse than Windows 8.1. You have to drag it down. Now it's not obvious what you do here. If you do this, you're back in the app. So instead, you have to drag it quickly down and then you exit. And then this is basically OneDrive, and you have some other apps like here's the camera app, and it wants you to connect the camera, so I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna bother with doing that. And the next thing is, well, we have a video app, which is weird, and it's not like your Windows 10 things. It's Xbox Video. I don't know what this is, and I don't know also how to exit it when they do this. I can't exit it, so you have to use the other weird shortcuts. And also you can see that we have some things in here, and say if you want to personalize, now this is the way to get around that. Or you have to activate it, because here you can change it. Or, well, Windows desktop backgrounds, there we go. Change them. Earth is 6, you got 6 backgrounds, and this is the Windows default. I actually quite like this background, so I am going to keep it. But as you can see, at least they had some more customization in here. And actually, wait a second, the desktop is an app. Wait, are you serious? The desktop, it's an app. This is supposed to be your desktop, and your actual desktop is just an app with a custom effect, or is it? I'm not sure. And wait a second, what if you do this now? And you close out of the desktop. So I can't understand Windows 8. And what if you have an app full screen? You can't exit. And again, this is Windows 7, but if you look at the top, it is now more like Windows 8ified and Windows 10ified. Your Windows 10 Explorer is much different than this, but it's still interesting to have such thing. And now let's get on to the weird stuff. Now, I did encounter some bugs while I was on, so this was before you saw this, and it is quite weird, like exploring the settings app. Sometimes you come across this weird bug. I don't know why, but it's honestly, in conclusion now, I have to end this video because there's nothing more else to explore. If you have any more ideas, just ask me and I'll do a video again. And I just wanted to say that this was a strange build of Windows 8. And now let's actually start talking about why it was built. So as you just saw, it is just very uncomfortable to click on these corners every time. Like seriously, why? I have to go to each corner and then click it. And then what if you don't go enough to the corner? What if that's your maximum? It'll still load. But then it's not like on Windows 10 where you got that, where the start menu is just like a part, and then yeah. And Windows 11 is even worse. I mean, I'd rather stick to Windows 10. Windows 11 is bad. Even with the normal builds. If you saw my video on the last build, it was still bad. But this is just better. Like the customization, the other things. I'll have to close this. Unfortunately, we won't be able to install Chrome and other things. And yeah, so like I said, continuing on, I guess I'll have to start the conclusion because this is getting way too long. I'll have to just say, so this is the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you want to see any more of Windows 8 or you have an idea about an operating system, just send it to me and I'll install it and we'll see what we can do. So this is the end. I hope you enjoyed it, and the end.